Hey guys, July is almost here. Let us use the power of the cards to see what the month has in store for you. Welcome guys. If you haven't met me yet, I'm Leesa. I'm a certified tarot consultant whose goal is to help you leverage the power of the tarot and oracle to gain insights into yourself, navigate your life, and to generally make your life amazing. And on this channel, I do pick a card readings, tarotscope readings, meditations, and today we are going to take some time to look ahead at the month of July. If you are new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you don't miss any new videos that are coming out. So let's just jump right into it. If you are new here and have not done a pick a card reading before, understand that by nature they are a more general reading done for the collective. But if you were drawn to this video, then this reading is definitely for you. You and I are going to team up together intuitively to help you get the guidance that you need. So while I'm taking some time to set up here, take the next couple of minutes to get yourself slowed down in your breathing, to get into that fuzzy headspace. And in just a minute, we will begin. So this reading today is all about the month of July. And for me, being in the Northern Hemisphere, we are definitely into summer at this point. So for me, July is all about very hot, humid, lazy days. I like to spend time with family and with friends, going out to the mountains or sometimes spending time at the pool. But it is definitely, for me, the height of summer and a time to just feel really lazy. I hate to say the word, but yeah, I get kind of a lazy feeling when it comes to July, but beautiful time of year. But not sure what it is for you. Maybe it's a little bit different. Let me know down below what types of things does July bring up for you. I guess that comes over from me being in school when I was younger. July was that time when it was just free to do whatever. But hopefully you are feeling intuitively tuned in. And you can see I have a few cards out here, and I'm about to show you a few different herbs that I've actually taken from my herb garden. And your job is to look at each item that I show you as I take them out and then decide which one speaks to you the most. So the first thing I have is simply a piece of parsley. Okay, piece of parsley. Then I have a piece of oregano. It smells really good. It smells like pizza. And then I have a piece of mint. There we go. So take a look at the three cards here and at those three herbs, and take a few seconds to listen to your intuition and decide which item speaks to you today. Okay, so now that you've decided, let's get into the reading. I'm going to start with the parsley, and I'm going to move the other items away. I'm going to include timestamps for the oregano and the mint. So if you chose that, just go ahead and move over to those timestamps. But we're going to go ahead and get started with the parsley right now. So parsley, just move him over there. Okay, so the first card I just want to bring up for you today, guys, is the full moon. So this is talking about completion. So this should be a month for you overall where we start seeing things come to fruition and start coming full circle for you, which is fantastic. Also, I would say the time period around the full moon this month might be an excellent time for you in regards to good power days or times when things are going really well for you. I'm seeing that too, since we're talking about the month ahead. Okay. Okay, so the first two cards that we have. Wow. All right. So guys, the first thing I see here, we've got two Wands cards actually going into this month. So I'm seeing a lot of this month for you just right off the bat. I see a very active month for you. And interestingly enough, with the Wands, I'm seeing a bit in the form of heat. So heat coming on you. I'm not necessarily getting heat from the sun necessarily in the weather, but I'm feeling a lot of heat, a lot of energy coming down on you. I'm getting the sense that this is going to be a month where you're feeling almost as though it's ready in time for you to give in. There is something that you've been standing your ground on, that you have felt as though you have been battered about the ears about, you've been exhausted about. You are at the point now where you're thinking, okay, maybe I just need to give up and give in. So that is a feeling I'm getting, in a sense that I'm getting for you during this month or going into this month. I get a sense that other people specifically are going to be pushing at you or have been pushing at you quite a bit. It may lessen if you are someone that decides to stick with this, whatever this thing is. You may actually get less resistance as you move through the month, but I definitely see that as something that's going to be difficult for you. Wow, more Wands. Very interesting. And this is just, I feel like this is just simply reinforcing this. There is something that you have been fighting against, standing up for, pushing against, and I'm seeing months on this. And this has been something that's been dragging out. It's been taking what feels like forever. And this card is just simply reinforcing that for me. It's taking longer. Something is taking longer than it needs to. More Wands. Where are all these Wands coming from? My goodness. I don't sort my deck, guys, so these are all just falling out naturally. They're all reversed too, which is indicating to me just a really difficult start to the month for you. And I'm seeing here for you going into the month of July, just the start and the beginning, where you're just not happy. And once again, I'm seeing a lack of support. I'm seeing you standing on your own. So there is an issue, at least one large issue that you are dealing with here that has been difficult for you, that you are trying to work through and push through, that you are simply struggling with. And it's something that has been taking a long time and you're not feeling like you're getting a lot of support on it. Okay. This is the very first tarot deck I ever owned, guys. This deck is, I don't use it very often. It's like 20 years old at this point, 20 something, which I know is only so old, but it's old enough that I don't want to damage it, so I don't use it very often. Okay. Okay. So guys, I get the sense here for you moving into this month as you are staring out across the landscape of July and kind of what you're expecting. I get the sense that you do not have a whole lot of faith in whatever this is. You are struggling with having faith in yourself, and you are struggling with trying to find a balance between wisdom in terms of the subject and gaining control over it. Having a hard time listening to both your heart and your head and understanding when it's right to let go and when it's right to move forward and stand your ground. So I have a feeling that you, in general, are looking at things saying, gosh, what am I going to do? What is this? This seems just to be really, whatever this is, or whatever this is going into July or beginning of July, is really just dominating this spread, whatever this is. Let me see what we got here. More wands. That's remarkable. Okay. So two positive things here. And the Ten of Hearts is certainly very positive. And I just wanted to kind of look and see, what are some of the best things that can happen for you? What are some of the worst things that can happen for you this month in July? And what I'm seeing here, first of all, it's very possible that whatever this thing is that's been dragging on and on and on, I get the sense that in the worst case scenario, for some of you, it's just going to keep going. You're just going to continue dealing with it. Whatever this thing is that you're fighting for, you're just going to keep fighting, and it's going to be there all the way stretched, all the way through July for you. I've never seen so many wands. It's so remarkable. On the positive side, I think some of you are going to end up coming to a solid resolution here where you're feeling really good about the situation. You're happy. Maybe some of those people that have been fighting you along the way, they might end up being allies in the end, or it might be that they're completely out of the picture and you're able to focus on those people in your life that really give you support and people that you really love being with. So that's definitely very positive. And I want to take a quick second here, maybe to look at some of those people that have been kind of this influence here, especially these people here that you feel like maybe you've been fighting against recently. Okay. So whoever this is that has been sort of pushing back against you, they definitely do not have your best interests in mind. They feel like whatever you are trying to start or move forward with, whatever you have that you are pushing so hard against or for, the thing that you're standing up for, the thing that you're rebelling against, whatever this thing is that you're pushing against, they really feel as though it's not in your best interest. They are trying to, in effect, save you from something, but for most of you, that situation is gonna be misguided. That's not something they need to be doing or should be doing. But that's kind of where they're coming from, is they feel like you are making bad decisions or poor decisions. Speaking of decisions, towards the end of this month, you are going to have that decision to make. And actually, I'm getting a bit of a sense of that just with all of these cards basically talking about, hey, there's either, towards the end of the month, there's either going to be a resolution, where you'll be able to, celebrate with friends and be able to feel really good about where you're at, or you're just going to end up keep moving forward, kind of same old with the same this push and this sort of being stuck. There is something that's going to happen towards the end of the month where you're going to have to make a decision. No more waiting, no more hoping. You're just going to have point A or point B, or maybe multiple choices, and you're just going to have to make that decision. If you don't take action, then nothing's going to move forward for you. And I get a big sense that this month you are at risk for staying in one place. So you need to make sure that you're taking action. So when you are given a decision, especially towards the back end of the month, be very careful that you're not just pushing it off or ignoring it entirely. You need to make sure that you're taking action on that. Okay. I think in the long run, when you look back at July, it's going to feel rather chaotic, like you don't have everything in hand all the time. It might feel like you have things that you're juggling, that you are struggling to connect, but I have a feeling that much of this month is going to be about trying to make connections with people, or trying to take two things that need to be connected and you're feeling a lot of times like it's not working. And this could be two people. It doesn't have to be two people. It could be two ideas. It could be two things that you're trying to make mesh together and you're struggling to make them mesh together. And I think that's really going to define July. So when I look back on this, and guys, when I look at this, this is pretty much, for the most part, dominated by cups here and wands, which is here. There's one pentacle. So I'm seeing a couple of things from this. Number one, there is a lot of energy going on here. There's a lot of fire. There's a lot of potential, and that fire can come down on you almost like oppression, or it could be something that's driving you forward. And there's a lot of emotion caught up in this month. I also see from looking at everything here that you have a lot to say about what happens this month. This is not a month for you just to be swept along in the tides. You have a lot where you can say and do about this month, where you can change the course of things for you. You don't need to be, beholden to what the universe throws at you. These things are going to come down to a few different areas. Number one, whatever it is that you're standing for, whatever it is that you feel like, I push for this, I'm trying, I'm still trying, I still feel like I'm being fought against. You are going to have to make the decision on, if this is still worth fighting for. Excellent, go for it. Make sure that you're making the decisions that you need to make. Don't ignore them. Don't say, oh, I'll just, push that off, I'll do that later. No, it's going to be very important for you to make a decision, look at everything. If you've been holding off on something, make sure that you don't do that any longer. Also, make sure you have the right mindset, because if you don't have faith in yourself, how are other people supposed to have faith in you? So to me, that's where I kind of feel as though this is going. And don't forget, guys, we had in the very beginning this full moon card. So that's telling me two things. Number one, you have the opportunity this month to really finish or complete whatever this thing is that you're working on. Number two, that time around the full moon, don't lose that energy. Grab it and run with it. That's going to be something that I think you can really harness. But this looks like an exciting month for you, certainly. And whatever it is that you're working on, make sure that you are pushing that to completion and giving it your passion and your energy. Do your best to keep it from draining you. So that's what I'm seeing for this part of the reading, guys. I am going to do one more bit, an oracle reading at the end for everyone. So I will go ahead and drop that timestamp in there. Don't miss that. Just go ahead and move over to that, and we'll get to that last part of the reading. Okay, moving on to those of you that chose the lovely Oregano. Let us see. Starting with you. Okay, so the card that we got is the card that says Tsunami. It says Wake Up Call. So keep in mind as we move through July's reading that this is all about you becoming aware of something that maybe you've been ignoring, or something that you really need to pay attention to. That Tsunami card, basically, it's a wake-up call. It's saying, hey, hello, you need to pay attention to this thing. So we're going to start by just seeing how the beginning part of the month is going to go, and kind of how things have been going for you moving into this month. Favorite card. I always love that when that comes up. Okay. Wow. So guys, when it comes to July, I get a sense that for many of you, June has been coming into July. We are looking at a time period where you may have been, for lack of a better term, hermiting away, or you've been in rest mode, or you have been in wait mode. And I get a sense for a lot of you in July, you are so ready to get out of the house or move to whatever you need to do, but it is that time for you to move ahead, and everything around you is saying, yes, for goodness sake, move ahead. So this could be you physically, maybe physically you've been stuck and not moving a whole lot, or maybe you haven't been exercising a whole lot, or whatever. It could be in your head, where maybe you've been had an idea sort of rolling around in your brain and gestating for a while. It is time for that thing to take flight. But you have something that has been sitting there kind of you know, being very introspective and being, I guess, in pause. And it is so, is definitely time to move ahead with whatever that is. You have put in the work on that thing. Whatever this thing is, you have completed it. You are at the point where, yes, everything is good. Look, he's got all of his sticks in a row here, right? Everything's in line. Everything is ready to go. Anything you've had up to this point, it is absolutely ready. You don't have to think anymore. You don't have to plan anymore. You don't have to sit around anymore. Once again, it depends on kind of what this thing is for you. You don't have to be this hermit anymore. Okay, you are ready to get going. Moving it. This is the exact same card as the previous group in the exact same position. That is always interesting when that happens. Love these cards. I get the sense that coming into this month, and I'm feeling the same thing. June was not great. I just get the sense for you that June was not fantastic. June was not a great month for you. June did not make you happy, and July is about the time to kind of move away and be happy that we're doing it. So something in June or all of June basically was at a space where you're saying, okay, I am just done. I'm done with this month. I'm very ready for July to be here. Okay, so I want to take a bit more look at maybe what's in store for you, what possibilities are there. I don't use this deck very much, guys. This was the very first tarot deck I ever had, and they have a reprinting of it now, but I don't like it. So I don't use this deck very often, but I do love it. Okay. All right, beautiful. So for you, looking at the month of July, I feel like you have in your mind and you have this expectation that July can be pretty great. It can be a pretty amazing month for you. You have it in your head like, hey, this is something that could be, this is something that could be a good month for me. I want to see what these other two cards are saying, because what I'm seeing here is actually a split in my mind. I'm seeing, you know, some of you not taking this to its fullest potential. So let me see here. Okay. All right. So there is this possibility for you, and you're going to have to focus here on, you know, what is this thing that I'm basically coming out on, because that's the thing that we're focusing on, okay? Whatever this is for you. In your head, you know that this month could be good in terms of you being able to move forward with this thing. And you know that there's possibilities and that the opportunities are really great for you. For some of you, you're going to allow this to fall flat, and this month is going to pass you by. And later on, you're going to look at it and say, oh man, I completely missed my opportunity there. There is something here for you. There is an opportunity in this month for you. Whether or not you seize it when it comes by is going to be up to you. Okay, your determination. I think for many of you that do decide to kind of move ahead and seize that moment, this is going to be a moment where you are able to exhale. Finally, you don't feel as though you have to be on your guard. You don't feel as though you have to fight for everything. This is going to feel good. In fact, you know, coming out of a June where maybe you felt at odds with people, by the end of the month, you will have the opportunity to just exhale and feel like I don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to fight anymore. But that opportunity there, when I see this particular card, this is a card of opportunity, but it's one that can completely pass you by if you're not willing to listen and hear the messages that are being given to you. So you definitely want to be very aware of that, and, you know, pay attention to what's going on around you. Pay attention to the messages that are coming to you, because you don't want to get to the end of the month and find out, oh, I totally botched that. I completely missed all those wonderful things that could be propelling me forward. All right. So let's take a look at the end of the month and some of the people that you have around you. So the first thing I want to do is think about some of the people that you have that are closest to you in regards to this idea of you coming out of your hidey hole, you know, from June. Who's going to be the most important person in regards to that? And that's either, you know, birthing this new idea, getting your butt off the couch, you know, whatever it is that has you moving ahead. Okay, this person, whoever that person is who's going to be there for you, they are going to help you fill in the gaps for when you are really struggling. Because I get the sense that there's definitely going to be road bumps, right? If everything was super easy, you would have done this months ago. So this person is going to help you fill in those gaps, is going to get you the resources you need when you need them, whether or not that is, you know, money or time or helping you out with anything. You know, hey, I need a cup of sugar. I need to borrow your truck. I need to, you know, get you to, you know, proofread something for me. Whatever it is, they are going to be there for you. So you definitely have the help and the assistance that you need. So don't be afraid about going it, because you're not, you know, going out on a limb for this thing, because you're not going it alone. Oh, okay. Okay, excellent. So towards the end of the month, this is going to be a month where when you get to the end, okay, you are still going to have some of those feelings kind of left over of, you know, this whole idea of sort of being solitary or isolationist or holding your ideas in. And there's still going to be some of that kind of moving forward. So be aware of that. Actually, this dragon is really super cute. Let's just take a minute to look at him. Yes, he's adorable. But you can see he's spending so much time focusing on the jewels and the coins and the stuff that he has here. He's not paying attention to anything else. So be careful that you're not slipping back into that type of focus on you know, what you have right around you, and not thinking about, you know, what is around like what is around you in the larger world. And be careful that you don't slip back into that little hidey hole. I get the sense by the end of the month, when you look back at July, you're going to say, okay, this was the start of the thing that I'm doing. This is the beginning of where I need to go. You're not going to accomplish everything this month. Once again, we're going back to this wake-up call, right? Something needs to change. Something big needs to change for you. And I think it has a lot to do with you basically getting out of whatever rut this is. You've done the work, you've thought about it, you've sat around for long enough. It's kind of stunk. You haven't liked it a whole lot. You have people around you that are willing to support you. You just need to get moving forward. Okay, what is that wake-up call? What is this project, this idea, this thing that you need to do? So, guys, that's my message for you. Now I've got one last oracle card reading. So just scoot to the end of the video and we can do that real quick. And I will see you there. Okay, moving on to the mint group. Yes, and for those of you wondering, yes, this will become a mojito later. I'm filming this on a Friday. That is what is happening with that. But let us take a look at the message for you. It's July, guys, or it's going to be July. Oh, volatility, volcano. Wow. There is something in your life that is explosive or very explosive or could be explosive. What is that? So as we go through this message today, I want you to think about that. You know, what do you have in your life right now that is just ready to blow? And that could be relating directly to this message here, or it could be something slightly different. But just keep that in mind. There's something here. July could be a pretty volatile month for you. But let's take a look first at kind of where you are moving into the month, what the general mindset is for the month. My goodness. Okay. All right. Okay. What a fun month for you. All right, guys. So starting out with the Page of Swords, I love the Page of Swords. To me, the Page of Swords deals a lot with air and the element of air, and that could be a few different things, actually, especially in the realm of the tarot. But when I see the Page of Swords, I see a lot of activity. I see a lot of new ideas and fresh air being brought into new concepts and new ideas. There are a lot of things on the horizon for you going into the month of July. I also get the sense too that this is a great month for making your dreams happen, whatever those are. So take for a quick second and just think, what have I had in my head that I've been wanting to do? The energy is there this month for you to be able to jump on that thing. Look at this guy. Look at how happy he is just sitting there with all these cups. That could be you, whatever your cups are. Think about, what are your cups? That energy is here for you this month. In the past, I think whatever this thing is, now that you have this in your head, this has been something that I think internally you've kind of beat yourself up on, in terms of saying like, no, I can't want for that thing, or I shouldn't want for that thing, or that thing's not healthy for me, and maybe it's not. I don't know. I'm not going to judge right now. But there's this idea that you've been telling yourself, whatever this thing is that you're looking for, that you don't deserve it, that it's something that you've been saying, no, this isn't something that I need. It isn't something that I should want, even though you do. And for many of you, I feel like the month of June has been a month, or was a month, that was potentially really rough for you. And you're at a stage now where you're ready to just be over it, move on. You had something in June, either happened in June or right before June, where you either suffered a heartache, something that hurt you, emotionally, or just an idea that you had that absolutely went totally wrong and crushed you. And now you're in a position where you're just ready to move forward. So I think July is a month for you to move forward in regards to that. But whatever this is, you've been telling yourself you don't deserve it. Now, listen to your instincts. If you're saying, well, I probably shouldn't do that because it would be really bad for me in the long run, maybe you should listen to that. But for some of you, and I find for a lot of people, whatever we think we want or really want, we find excuses to tell ourselves that we don't really need that thing, or that we shouldn't want that thing, right? I don't deserve to be happy. I don't deserve to have nice things. I don't deserve to, whatever it is. Okay, so if that is the case, this is telling you to watch out for that, because that's really self-destructive, and we don't need that at all. Okay. All right. Look at the swords coming out in this reading. Very interesting. Okay. So guys, you going into the month of July, there's going to be, I think a lot of this for many of you is going to be a very introspective month, but it's going to be introspective in a way where you're doing a lot of weighing options. You're going to be doing a lot of thinking. It's going to be a lot of mental stuff going on here. For some of you, more swords. Wow. Oh, okay. This is fantastic. Because guys, I'm getting the sense that whatever it is that you decide that you want to run with this month, okay, you're going to be able to think through it. You're going to have kind of your ducks in a row. There we go again, all in a row. But I mean, when it comes to this, to the very worst and the very best things that can happen to you. I mean, if the very worst thing that can happen to you is the Ace of Wands, you're doing really well, because this card is all about butt kickery. This card is all about making a splash, making a big debut, being successful in what you do. So I get the sense here that even if you fail miserably at whatever this thing is that you're hoping to move forward with, you are still moving forward. You will learn from your mistakes. You will have started the thing. Okay, because sometimes the hardest thing is just getting started on it. So, I mean, if the worst thing that happens to you is that you finally get off your butt and do whatever this thing is that you've been wanting to do, the Ace of Swords is great. You are going to win even if you feel like you're losing. The very best thing, the Six of Wands, This dude is, I mean, look at him. He's got a shooting star above him. He's there on top of his horse. I mean, this guy is a winner. So on the very best thing, the very worst is, you do really well and you kick ass. The very best thing is that not only do you kick ass, but you are recognized for being absolutely amazing at whatever it is that you are trying to do. So I think July is an amazing month for you. I mean, look, you even have this card right here that says, hey, by the way, if you ever wanted to have your wishes come true, this is the month to try to do that, okay? Stop belittling yourself. Stop telling yourself you don't need it. Get over whatever you were trying to get over recently and seize this month's energy, because it is there. I mean, this idea of the month volatility, it almost looks like, hey, this thing has been something that's been bottled up for a while and we just need to release it. We need to get it to move forward, and now. Okay, so let's take a look towards the end of the month, and I also want to see kind of what the situation is with some of the people around you. So take a quick second to think about, when it comes to this thing that you've been wanting to do, that maybe you've been hesitating on, and that you've been telling yourself, I don't know. Who has been there? Who is another person in your life who has been a primary player? Okay. So I get the sense that you have someone right now in your life that you feel in this project or this instance, you have been working with them really closely or feel like they've been super supportive to you. I feel in July you need to give it a bit of distance, at least with this project. Have you guys ever had a passion project where you're so excited about it, and then the moment you tell that project idea to someone else, they kind of look at you and they're like, and then you lose steam? That's what I'm getting here, is whatever this thing is that you're super excited about, I'd say whoever you're thinking like, oh, I'm just going to tell this person and they're going to make it amazing, I get the sense that they're not going to help. They might almost be a hindrance. And it could be something where they're actually actively trying to pull that idea away from you, but it could just be something as in they're not as excited about it as you are, and so therefore you end up losing your momentum because they're not very excited about it. So be careful with that. Page of Swords, again. Interesting. Okay, so towards the end of the month, guys, I'm seeing much less momentum towards the end of the month than I am seeing at the beginning. So that is telling me that the time to act is now, not waiting, okay? The time to do things and to make the move is now, not at the end of July. It's definitely at the beginning of July. Okay, and I also get the sense too, and this is actually a good card. Five of Cups is, when it's upright, it's a little bit more difficult. I get the sense that when you look back at July, you're going to look at July and say, oh, I had some things that went okay for me, and I had some things that didn't go okay for me, but you're going to be okay with that because the things that go well are going to be better and more, it's going to be worth it versus the things that didn't go well. It's kind of like this Ace of Swords. Even if you fail this month, you're going to win. But that only happens if you are willing to seize that energy at the start of the month and move ahead. Okay, dreams don't happen just by us sitting around on our butts. And the message I'm getting here for you is that the energy in this Page of Swords, that active energy that's going to be there at the beginning of the month, is going to fall off towards the end of the month. So whatever exuberance you have, it's kind of like this volcano. It's all building up. The energy is going to be here at the start of the month. Take it, run with it. And that's what I'm seeing for you guys. I am going to do one more quick oracle card for you. So scoot to the end of the video. I'm going to put a timestamp here, but make sure you don't miss out on that, and I will meet you there. So I have one last bit of guidance for you guys today. This is my Earth Magic Oracle deck, and I'm going to pull a card just to give us a bit more guidance about the month of July. Before I do, I'd love to find out which one of these you chose, either the parsley, the oregano, or the mint. So leave me a comment down below. Let me know which one you chose, and if this resonated with you. I'd love to find out which item you went with, and if you felt like it gave you some guidance. But I'm going to pull one more card. This is for everyone, just to see what we get. A little bit more clarity on the month here. Okay. So we get the meadow and the idea of vulnerability. So when you look at this card, you can see in the back, there's these hills or these mountains, and they stand there strong, right? But the closer you get, you can see that there are flowers here. And of course, these flowers, if you walk on them or step on them, they can be crushed underfoot. So there is this idea of being vulnerable, even though, you are solid, right? The land under them is very solid. And for many of us, we may put on a brave face or, stand there like a rock for people. But it's important to recognize that we are vulnerable and allow people to see that. For some of us, being vulnerable is not an issue. We have a lot of that, and that thing shows all the time. And in this case, it's a reminder that that's okay, to have that piece there. Whatever your message was, okay, keep that idea of vulnerability in mind. That it is okay sometimes to drop your guard. It is okay sometimes to allow other people to see that softer side of you. And sometimes, giving in a little bit can allow you to get where you want to go. So, yeah, but that is it for today's reading, guys. So if it resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe and click the bell so that you can see some of my other readings as soon as they come out. I'd love to hear from you if you have a suggestion for a pick a card reading topic, and leave that below. And this is a more general reading for the collective. If you're looking for a more specific one-on-one reading, I do those. Take a look down below. I've got my link there so you can go over to my business page. So hit me up there. Have a great July.